we're gonna go into this word, isn't for these heathens, nor the 2/3 of our people. All right. So yeah, man, Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. Okay. So as you read, or when you began to read in the book of Ezekiel, all right, from chapter 40 straight on down to 47, all right, uh, it's pretty much going into the restoration of the temple during the time of the Persians. All right. And you could read that in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. Okay. So here it is, the angel is giving Ezekiel, the measurements and the blueprint of the layout of everything. So this is the angel. We're going to go into the angel now, giving Ezekiel, the blueprint and the measurement of the temple. Now, this here is symbolically speaking as well. It's speaking about the physical temple, all right? And it's also speaking about the spiritual temple, which is us, all right? Dealing with this truth, with this gospel, all right? So, as this lesson goes on, you can keep hearing me say, if the heathens couldn't partake in the physical temple, all right, would make you think they could partake in the spiritual temple. Right. All right. And there's a clear difference. All right. So if someone could grab the book of Ezekiel chapter 42, let's pick it up at verse 15. We can read from 15 to 20.
Ezekiel 42 and 15 reads, Now when he had made an end of measuring the inner house, he brought me forth toward the gate, whose prospect is toward the east, and measured it round about. He measured the east side with the measuring reed, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He measured the north side, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He measured the south side, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed. He turned about to the west side and measured 500 reeds with the measuring reed. He measured it by the four sides. It had a wall round about, 500 reeds long and 500 broad, to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place.
Right, and that's the point right there. Okay. And that profane place, as a matter of fact, when you look up that word profane, it goes into profaneness, commonness, all right, unholy, profane. All right, so that reminds me of this scripture. Someone grabbed the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 1. All right, because here, all right, with this measurement, all right, is to separate or to make a difference, but it says to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place. All right, so we're going to see who's profane. All right, now we know Esau is profane, but there's some other people who is profane as well. All right, so let's get the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 1.
This is Revelation 11 and 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar, and them that worship therein.
Right. Okay. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. You see that? The same thing we just read back in the book of Ezekiel. Okay. And that reed is a what? Is a measuring tool. Read it again, brother.
Revelation 11 and 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar, and them that worship therein.
Right, and measure the temple of God, all right, and the altar, and them that worship therein. So that's everyone who is worshiping Yahbashim Yahushai in spirit and in truth, all right, and that's everyone who is under the protection of the Lord. Okay, let's read verse 2, brother.
Verse 2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under the foot 40 and 2 months.
Right. But the key thing here is, these heathens now is outside the temple.
God.
All right. Which means what? That they are profane.
Exactly.
Okay. So guess what? This is dealing with the physical temple. All right. So if they couldn't enter into or partake in the physical temple, all right, what makes you think they could partake in the spiritual temple?
God.
My point exactly.
That's it.
So now let's go back to that point now in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 42 and 20 again, brother.
He measured it by the four sides. It had a wall round about, 500 reeds long and 500 broad, 500 broad, to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place.
Right. So there's a separation between what is holy and profane, unholy, right?
God.
And that's what this word is doing.
That's it.
This word is making the difference between holy and unholy. All right. This word is making that clear separation. But check this, because this now. Keep in mind now, we're talking about the building, spiritual and physical.
God.
Okay, let's go in the book of Amos. Let's see what he had to say. Let's get Amos chapter 9 and verse 11. All right.
Amos 9:11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
Right. All right. All right. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and through this word, all right, the Lord is allowing us now to what? To repair the breach. All right, meaning the holes that is in the wall. So the hole that is in the wall is being built up and being repaired. And guess what? We are our stones. All right, that's being put in place. See what I said? We are that brazen wall that Jeremiah speak about.
God.
You see that? You see how it's speaking about the actual temple and the spiritual temple at the same time?
God.
All right, someone get me Job 11 and 6. All right, to give you the double meaning. All right, because wisdom is 2 and 2.
God.
It's the book of Job chapter 11 and 6. And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom.
Right, and that he would show thee the secret of wisdom. Right, check this.
That they are double to that which is.
Right. So I just give you the physical and the spiritual at the same time.
God.
All right. Finish read it out, brother.
Know therefore that Yahweh exacted of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth.
Right. So wisdom is double, and that's the point I wanted. So I show you the physical and the spiritual at the same time. All right, but let's continue on. Okay, so let's get Jeremiah chapter 1 and 18 to show you this brazen wall, to show you this building. Because again, this is as a matter of fact, before you read Jeremiah 1 and 18, someone get I think it's Ezra chapter 4. All right, Ezra chapter 4 and so like here, let me just prove that point quick to show you that. Or Nehemiah. Let me see. I think it's Nehemiah. When it says ye have nothing to do with this. Huh? All right, you know what I'm talking about, right? All right, let me try Ezra chapter 4. I think that's it. All right. Huh? You find it? All right, I think it's started Nehemiah chapter 4 and read from verse 1.
Nehemiah, this is Nehemiah 4 and 1. But it came to pass that when
All right, Salakia, that's Ezra chapter 4. Right, started 1. You can read 1 and 2. Ezra chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. Done.
It's the book of Ezra, chapter 4. You got it up? Right. It's the book of Ezra, chapter 4, starting at verse 1.
Yeah, started one.
Now then, the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of captivity builded the temple unto the Yahweh power of Israel. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your power, as ye do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither.
Right, read.
But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto our Yahweh, our power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us.
Right. You see that? Again. So the heathens ain't had nothing to do with the temple then and couldn't partake in the physical temple. How much more now? Right? You see what I said? All right.
That's why we don't worship the Edomites.
Right. Okay. Now let's go back to Jeremiah now, chapter 1 and verse 18. Have you done finished with that?
And this is Jeremiah 1 and 18. For behold, I have made this day a defense city, and an iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land.
Right. All right. That's why in the book of Proverbs it says that the name of Yahweh is a strong tower and the righteous run it into it and is safe. All right. So we have to run into the protection of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which is what? Within this word. All right. Which is within this knowledge. All right. And that's making a separation. All right. That's why Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20 say what? To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there's no light in them. All right. Meaning what? That they are profane. All right. So even your church pastor, right? Well, who ain't speaking according to this word? They outside the temple. They're profane. Because remember now, this word is the one with making the separation. This is separating between holy and unholy. All right. So 2/3 of our people is profane as well. As a matter of fact, let's Google the word profane. All right.
They are more profane than righteous.
Right. All right. Let's Google the word profane. Someone.
Profane, not relating to that which is sacred or religious.
Right. You see that? Not relating to that which is sacred or religious. Right. Let me see something.
Right. It says.
As I want you to go down to the thing. I'm right. All right. No. Right. So you can break down the word. The origin. Read from the origin, right?
Right.
What this now?
The origin. It says late Middle English in the sense heathen. From Old French, profane, from Latin profanus, outside the temple.
Right.
Not sacred.
Salakia, right? Now, you can break down the word, right? You're gonna break down the word profane, which is what? Pro, which means before.
God.
Right? Then phantom, right?
God.
Which is temple.
God.
Right? And then when it put them two together, right? Profane, it says what? Before the temple. All right. All right. So profanus, pro and fanus salakia, which mean outside the temple, not sacred. Right? And like I stated earlier, 2/3 of our own people is outside the temple. That's because they are profane.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah, because they engage in the doctrine of Esau.
That's it. Okay. So so the Lord is making a clear separation of who is serving him and who's not serving him.
Salah.
Right?
So it could be safe to say that The reason why it wasn't that particular part wasn't measured because where's so much profane people out there. So it don't make no sense measuring the profane people.
That's it. Because the word is going to do that. You see? All right, Salaki, brother. All right, so this is who's going to be within the protection within the temple. Those who speaking 100% truth. They're going to receive the protection. Everybody else is outside the temple. All right, bring your precept, brother.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, okay, who for one morsel of meal sold his birthright. Okay? So Esau is a profane person. He brought us this Christian doctrine. Okay? So this doctrine that has been given to the 2/3 by Esau, okay, is outside of the temple. Okay? Place those 2/3 outside of the temple of the Most High. Right.
Right, so you got Esau, the 2/3 of our people and the other nations.
Right.
All right, this ain't for them.
Right. Hey, brother, for you, I don't know if I could bring up some of these synonyms of profane.
All right, go ahead, brother.
This is some of the synonyms of profane. It says secular, meaning not connected with religious or spiritual matters.
Really?
It says temporal, worldly, earthly, unsanctified, irreverent, ungodly, godless, disrespectful, irreligious, and unbelieving.
That's it.
Salaki, right? Just one of those synonyms is temporal, right? And what do Christians seek? The temporal things.
Right, the things the things that are within the earth.
Exactly.
They want
Right.
tangible things.
Right. We break down the word temporal. It says relating to worldly as opposed to spiritual affairs.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, that's why anytime you hear these so-called prophets, they say, man, I see you 10 years from now in a big house and with a lot of money and cars and all that. It always things that within the earth. Right? Temporal.
That shows a lot of things.
Right.
They want tangible things.
God.
That shows that they are profane.
God.
They're outside the temple. Because they ain't speaking according to this word. And we already know, according to Ezekiel 48:20, the Lord is making a separation.
God.
All right.
And the thing that added that too, right? See, of course, they can seek the temporal things because the God what they worship, okay, is outside the temple.
That's it. Profane. All right, let's get Isaiah. All right, 58:10.
And this is Isaiah 58:10. And if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday.
Right. All right, so the Lord has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light, into this knowledge, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, into his holy temple. All right, and now we are sanctified through his word. Okay, because we're going to speak according to this word. So, Lord willing, we be a part of that temple.
God.
You see that? All right, read on, brother.
God. Isaiah 58:11. And Yahweh shall guide thee continually and satisfy thy soul in drought and make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters fail not.
Read.
And they shall be of thee, shall build the old waste city, to build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundation of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the branch of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in.
Right. So again, if the heathens couldn't go into the sanctuary of the actual temple, right? How much more the spiritual temple that are being built right now?
God.
They can't partake in this.
No.
The 2/3 can't partake in this.
Nope.
You know, this ain't for them. You see that? Huh?
You're not in it.
That's it. They ain't in this. Nope. All right, and they have multiple precepts to back that up. All right, someone get 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. All right, then someone grab Ephesians 2 and 19. All right.
This is 1 Corinthians 3 and 9.
Yeah.
All right, this is 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. For we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are God's husbandry, ye are God's building.
You see that? And who Paul is speaking to? He's speaking to the Israelites in Corinth.
God.
In particular, the elect. Ye are God's building. You see that? To them that believe and know the truth.
That's it.
All right. The holy. Okay. What is right? Let's get Ephesians 2 and 19.
It's Ephesians 2 and 19. Now therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of power.
Right. So now we are partakers of that sanctuary. You see that? All right. So what I can do, right? We can get a little bit history. Okay. I can send you the link, brother. All right. We can get a little bit of history of what was happening. Okay. Because let's bear with me 1 minute there. Okay. Sorry, brother. We can go to the Benson commentary.
Ezekiel 42
Right.
and 19.
Right, because what is happening here, right? These are Israelites that are in a Gentile state of mind. All right. Let's read that piece there with the Benson commentary.
Ezekiel 42. This is the Benson commentary. It says, it had a wall round about, meaning to defend it from being invaded or profaned. Such a square wall as is here described seems only capable of a mystical sense and interpretation to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place. Between that compass of ground which was included in the precincts of the temple and was considered as consecrated to Yahweh, and where it was not permitted either the heathen, strangers, or impure persons to present themselves, and that place here termed profane, which all the world might enter indiscriminately, men, women, pure, impure, Gentiles, and others. We learn from Josephus that such a place of separation existed at the temple in his time.
Right. That's speaking about the actual temple. Right. So if the actual temple, right, if the heathens couldn't access the actual temple, how much more the spiritual temple that we are building? You see that?
Right.
There's a wall,
All right.
a wall that separates from so that the profane was not even allowed near the temple.
That's it.
Done.
Or something, right? But the profane place, everybody could have passed through the profane place, but only a select few could have entered into the temple.
Right. And when you read Ezekiel chapter 40, straight on to chapter 47, the angel is giving you the layout, basically, of the kingdom of heaven, of the temple.
Right.
All right. You see that? So it's the same thing. And we are that spiritual temple. All right. But they can take it a step further to further prove to you, you understand that this truth ain't have nothing to do with these church pastors, okay, and these heathens. All right. And these damn Christians, right? But check this out, right? All that Ephesians 2 and 19, and someone grab Lamentation 1 and 10. Okay? Check this out.
Ephesians 2 and 19.
No, Lamentation 1 and 10.
Done. This is the book of Lamentation, chapter 1 and verse 10. It reads, the adversary had spread out his hand upon all the pleasant things, for she had seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation.
Right. And that's forever, according to the law in Deuteronomy chapter 23.
Done.
So these heathens can never enter into this truth.
All right.
They profane.
Done.
All right. And 2/3 of our people join them on this side. But the 2/3 of our people are profane or unholy at this time.
Done.
All right. Now let's go back to that Ephesians 2:19.
Make yourself uncircumcised, make a covenant with Eden.
That's it.
That's it.
Ephesians 2:19. Now therefore ye are no longer strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of power.
Right. Okay. And that's why those Jews, those Jews at that time, they was upset with Paul. All right, because Paul was bringing in those Israelite foreigners. All right, those Jews was like, man, these Gentiles. You see what I saying? But guess what? They repented, and they started to come back to their custom and heritage. But those Jews at that time, all right, they was like, man, it ain't no repentance for them. They're heathens. They was looking at the Israelite foreigners like they was already cut off. You see, and not coming, and ain't no coming back for them. But through Yahweh Shai, we have grace, man, and the new covenant and mercy. And we all are called back because the promises apply to all 12 tribes. You see that? That's what those Jews didn't understand at that time. That's it. Let's read on, brother. Read straight on down to 22.
Verse 20. And are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahweh Shai and Mashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto an holy temple in Yahweh, in whom ye are also builded together for an habitation of Yahweh through the Spirit.
Right. So we are that temple now. God, because each piece of us is a stone. God, you see what I'm saying? And so again, if no heathen, all right, could have gone in the physical temple back then, how much more this spiritual temple? That's it. They have no part in this. Bring the precept, brother.
First Peter chapter 2, verse 4 and 5.
Right.
To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of man, but chosen of power and precious with fire. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and an holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to power by Yahweh Shai and Mashiach.
Right. Like I was saying, each one of us is a stone that's being repaired in the wall. All right. So we are those preachers being repaired.
That's
right. See what I said? All right. To separate holy from the profane. See that? It's clear as day. Go ahead.
The scripture the brother brought up just now, that word lively that goes heavy, right? Watch this, right? It says to live, breathe, be among the living. In bracket, they have not lifeless, not dead.
That's it.
Because we've been cooking.
That's it. So we alive.
That's it. All right. So these heathens again don't have nothing to do with this. 2/3 of our people, they ain't have nothing to do with this. They're gonna remain in that darkness until the Most High call them out of that darkness into his marvelous light. But until then, they profane. Right. So let's get our Revelation 22 and 14. Right?
This is Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Right. You see that? So we have to be obedient to this word. All right. You got to continue to keep the law, statutes, and commandment and have faith in Yahweh Shai. All right. But this is the point here. Read the next verse, brother.
God, verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and make it a lie.
Right. You see that? And now go ahead, read there, brother. Brother, I want you look up one or two words in there, right? Right. It said, read that again slowly.
God, Revelation 22 and 15.
What that?
For without.
Right. For without. Right. Meaning outside the temple or profane.
God.
All right. Now let's look up that word dog, right?
Word dog. Kuon. Kuon. Metaphorically, a man of impure mind, an impudent man.
Right. That's why the Lord say what? Do not give that which is holy unto the dogs.
God.
All right. So this is showing you that men are being compared to as dogs.
God.
All right. So we have desire the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and not our own.
That's it.
All right. But read that one more time, brother. That's a lock here, verse 15 again.
Revelation 22 and 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and make it a lie.
Right. So all these are outside of the temple, which are profane. You see that?
That's it.
All right. Now let's go into some of these words now.
Yeah, I see if you want to bring it in a different translation.
You could bring that out in a different translation, but let's get these words first, and then you could do that.
What do you want next? Sorcerers?
There he is now. Yeah, let's look up sorcerers, homongers, murderers, idolaters.
Sorcerer is pharmakos. And we know that's close to the word pharmakia.
Right.
Pertaining to magical arts. Basically, like voodoo, Hinduism, and taboo, and all those different shit.
Right, and the scriptures say what? Suffer of which not to live. That's it. So that one, you could scratch that one off the list. You know that?
Whoremongers or pornos. You hear what that close to porn. A man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. A male prostitute. A man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. A fornicator. The strongest definition for that. A prostitute. That is a debauchee, a fornicator, a whoremonger.
All right.
Murderers is fornioshe, a murder or homicide. That goes without, that's straightforward.
All right, and the scripture said, "Thou shalt not kill."
Right.
Or thou really is thou shalt not murder.
Idolater is idolatress, a worshiper of false gods, idolater, and that's a lot of these people in the Christian faith.
Right, so that's why I say, man, these Christian pastors, and the majority of all of these damn Christians. All right.
Used of anyone, even Christian, participant in any way in the worship of the heathen, especially one who attends their sacrificial feasts and eats of the remains of offered victims. And you know that sacrificial feast is like these so-called holidays.
Right.
Like Thanksgiving and Christmas and all those different days.
Yeah. Right. So you see, they outside the temple, right?
It also says here an idolater is an image or servant worshiper.
Right. All right, that's it. Right. And then it says, and love it who make it a lie. You coming up against his truth, you speak one word against his truth. Your doctrine ain't lining up with his truth. Outside the temple.
Those who call evil good and good evil.
Right. Right.
The easy English goes into that.
All right, you could bring it in translation.
Easy English translation for Revelation 22 and 15 says, but these people must stay outside the city. People who like to do what is bad, people who do magic, people who have sex with someone who is not their husband or their wife, people who do murders, people who worship false gods, everyone who enjoys saying what is not true, and everyone who enjoys doing what is not honest. It says here, the BBE, outside are the dogs, and those who make use of evil powers, those who make themselves unclean, and the takers of life, and those who give worship to images, and everyone whose delight is in what is false.
Right. So you see that? So again, all right, that's why 2/3 of our people can't come into this truth. All right. And that's why all of these heathens can't get it at all.
Done.
All right. That's because they're profane. They're outside of the temple. All right. All right. Because this here is a spiritual work we're doing. So again, if they couldn't access or partake in the physical temple, they damn sure as hell ain't partake in the spiritual temple.
Done.
All right. So Lord willing, you know, you hope that this lesson was edifying. You know. All right. Bring
I
your
just
precept.
want to put this scripture in there, the precept in there. This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that he should shew forth praises of him who had called you out of the darkness into this marvelous light.
Right. So again, we all are those lively stones.
Done.
All right. Once we are within that temple. All right. Yeah, man. Anybody you got anything? Yeah, make a statement or say something before we hear that. Yeah, man. So with that, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakodas, Shalom, and the Bad Baba. Shalom.